I'm going to be explaining how I've been currency farming and taking no risks at all. Because yes, I can take risks. I can get mats like getting like 10 Arbiter of Ash tablets and stuff like that. But farming that way takes risk. You never know after you kill a pinnacle boss, do any super event that you're going to get loot out of after it. It feels terrible when you do some super fight and then you get nothing out of it. It's always how it's been for Path of Exile. So when you start farming these pinnacle bosses, it's always best to have at least 20 or 50 mats ready to go, because eventually out of those 20 or even 50 runs, and then you're able to sustain farming at least 50 to 100 times doing these pinnacle bosses over and over and over and over again. But for me, I said, no, we're not going to take any risks, and we're just going to go out there and get that. So what I've been doing is I've been citadel farming and hunting all the citadels. And once I'm done with the citadel, then I just look at the gray map, and then I just keep going and going around. And also on the edge, sometimes I'll see cool, unique maps like this one, and then I'll just put a tab like unique map, and then just bookmark it. And then I keep going and going and going. And if for some reason, if I don't see any citadels or anything burning in the sky, then what I will do is you just go one way and one direction. And so how I do it, we'll go to my character right now, is that I will just keep going up or down. So for my case, right now I'm going further down in one direction. The reason why I go down is because how the screen is laid out. As you see right now, even in front of you, the screen layout of your computer when you're playing the game is that, it's a widescreen. You get more visual clarity left to right instead of up and down. Up and down, you don't the screen is shortened, so it's always best to go up or down in one direction, because when you go down and down and down and down, you can actually move left and right, and you have more visual clarity that way, seeing more in a direction. Also, with citadel farming, I realized that you're not really getting towers as much. You're only getting towers along the way. So I've realized that I have to make the map suitable without any towers. It doesn't benefit any towers, and I make sure that I'm getting loot efficiently without any towers. We're just going into the map, we're just focusing and finding all the rares very quickly, super fast, killing them, get done with the map, and go to the next map super quickly. So what I focused on is just getting more monster pack and rare monsters, and then more monster pack and magic monsters, and then more monster pack over here. And then I got unstable energies. With unstable energies, it can sometimes affect more monsters on the map and item rarity or anything like that. And I'm focusing on the Rogue Exile content. And I picked the Rogue Exile notables. So I picked the unique jewelry one, because jewelry, like, you might get for example, the amulet, the Artemis, I think I'm saying it right, the one that gives a whole bunch of attributes. I'm hoping that one of the Rogue Exiles might actually equip that during my runs. It's kind of like a test. But everything else, I don't think it's very valuable. Unique jewelry, I believe that's the most valuable, notable for the Rogue Exiles. And this notable here gives the chance that the items that they drop to have corruption and maximum sockets, which is really good. You don't have to gamble the rolls yourself. It's automatically done, which is great. And then dexterity. I picked the dexterity notable for the Rogue Exiles. I'm noticing right now that most of the dexterity unique items are... I've been noticing that dexterity, normal items, and unique items, and all that stuff is very expensive and very highly sought after right now. So that's why I chose dexterity, and then all the other these small notables and the big one. It just gives more chance for Rogue Exiles. So having this kind of setup makes me able to chase citadels and make sure that I'm actually farming pretty good and getting loot. Now you see in my stash tab, I have all these tabs the same right now as 7 exalts, because I'm actually in my cycle right now where all my stash tabs are full, and it's time to sell them. So what I do is all these tabs are one divine orb, and then I just stack them up, fill them up, and I leave it be, and I keep farming the maps, and I just keep stacking them. I just unidentify rare modifiers. I don't really waste my time trying to go through and be like, hey, how much is this worth? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? I just pretty much just collect and go. So that's the whole thing is about your timing and speed is that it's very, very hard for a lot of people, but you have to be detached and not be so you cannot be so attached to your items at all. So you find these items might have really good modifiers and you're sitting 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes going through trade chat or using price check or using Sidekick to price check your items and spend a good 5 to 10 minutes while you can just keep going and mapping. So I don't really waste my time when it comes to trading. If they're not selling, then I keep dropping the price. So I'll go. We'll do an example right here. I'll make this a one divine orb, and then what I do is that on my way to the next citadel, I'll change the price of the stash tab, and then I'll change it to 80. And then once I'm done with two maps, then I bring it down to 70. Once I'm done with two maps, I'll bring it down to 60. Then when I'm done with two maps, then I bring it down to 50. And then, you just keep repeating the process every two maps that you do. Always remember that there's always a lot of people, buying and selling. If they're not selling like hotcakes, do not get attached to that. Like, don't let your feelings you cannot let your feelings get affected with you trading because the thing is that if your items are really worth valuable, they will sell like crazy. Sometimes you might have that experience before where you got bombarded with 100 millions of messages of people asking to buy the item from you. You're like, oh my god, I can't respond to all these messages, and like, oh my god, I priced this item wrong. That's how it should be with every single item that you have. If it's valuable, it'll sell really fast. If not, don't get attached to it. And then, don't get attached to it. And then, you just keep going down. And then eventually, we're just going to go to one exalted orbs. Once you're on your final exalted orb, you leave it there. And then once you're done with the citadel, then you just sell everything. You just take everything you just clean everything out. They didn't sell, they're underperformed. And then you just go to Doriani and then you just sell them, just sell everything. And then you just rinse and repeat. And then clear out your stash tab. And then you put it back to one divine orb and then you just repeat the process over again. So I hope this helped. If you have any more questions, please let me know and you guys have a wonderful day.